Mortal Shell 2, it's an amazing game that has lots of customization and so many different things that you can do and things that you cannot do on your first playthrough. The game relies on several systems that tie you to not being able to upgrade every single thing that you're going to find in the game, so you're going to need to make concessions. This is also going to give the game replayability value, so in this video I'm going to give you some advice of things that I wish I had known sooner in my playthrough and general things that are going to help you very much. So the very first thing that I'm actually going to advise is for you to watch videos and marry a shell. You're not going to be able to upgrade every single shell, and it is very important for you to upgrade your shells because your shell is going to somehow determine how are you going to play the game. And then again, the actual resources that you need to upgrade the shells, you're not going to be able to get them every single one of them in just one single playthrough, maybe 2, 3, even 4 if you're being third. But that being said, you can come into the Marrow Keep so that you can decide which shell are you going to go for first. Naturally, the first shells that I'd say that you're going to acquire, it's going to be Teal and also Proxima, because it's very easy to get to them. But also, you can, if you want to, you can just go get Airdream immediately whenever you want to and however you want to. As a matter of fact, if you spend some glimpses, which I wouldn't advise that much because a glimpse is the currency that you need for you to upgrade your shell, but you can come into this place and it's going to allow you to locate the shell that you want to go to. That being said, another great important part of your build and your shell and how you're going to play is going to be the weapons that you're going to be using that are going to synergize or not synergize with your shell. So in that remark, you can come to Merrick. Merrick is going to sell you maps. Some of them are going to be a little bit more expensive than others. He's going to sell you the maps to most of the locations of the weapons that you can find in the game. So we have like the axe and dagger in here, the great Maltes's blade, the clockwork scythe, the veterans battle axe and what have you, the obsidian hammer, the axe katana, and that is what's going to allow you to plan your route, because your weapon and your shell should be the first determining factor on whenever you go out on your expedition. So maybe you want to use Teal. So Teal, you're going to find them around this area. But once you manage to get Teal, let's say that now you want to use the axe katana, which you can find down here in this location, you can immediately just go down into this path and immediately go look for the weapon that you want to use with your shell. But you also need to have in mind that the weapons that you find in the world are going to somehow determine the route or the location where you're going to explore first. Usually the Tarstones that you're going to find to upgrade your weapon or to add to your build are going to be close by to where you found the weapon. So for example, up here you can find the Maltes's blade, which goes very well with Airdream that you can find in here. But around this area you can also find Tarstones that are going to natively just improve that specific weapon. So your initial route, and I would say like this is not always the case, but most of the Tarstones that are going to synergize with the weapon, you're going to locate them close to where you found the weapon. This is not 100% true all of the time, but most of the time it is true. So I'd say that your first exploration of everything should be around where you find your first weapon, so that you can upgrade that weapon with Tarstones, which we'll talk about that in a little while. But now, coming back into Merrick, you should always come back to talk to him whenever you have the chance, because he's going to sell you materials. The materials are the actual things that you need to upgrade such weapons that you're going to be finding out into the world. But also, I would say that you should purchase every single rare finding that you can get from him. It's going to be somewhat expensive, but this is also going to tie up to the next point. Pick every single little item that it is not nailed to the ground while you're exploring. Now granted, there's not many gatherable items that you're going to find in the world. As a matter of fact, it's pretty limited compared to, for example, Elden Ring or even like Dark Souls, where you have lots and lots and lots of consumable items that are going to do a whole bunch of things. There's not many of them, but here you're going to get more familiarity depending on how many of them do you find. Now once you have managed to get enough of them, you can actually equip them as an active item and passive item. So active item is going to be the first one, the first option, which for a wildcat, for example, the more familiarity you're going to get, the more benefit, which is going to be the third level, the third tier. At level 3, that you manage to find enough wildcats, it's going to heal you 50% of your health over 30 seconds. However, if you slot this item that is already maxed out with familiarity as a passive bonus, it's going to slowly refill your health to a maximum proportional to the wildcat found, meaning that this is going to heal you back to 50% passively, not over 30 seconds, it's going to take that much more time, but it's going to be a passive bonus. Similar to that, you can find like the task force, which if you use them, it's going to cure poison, and it's also going to give you poison mitigation for a certain specific amount of time. However, if you actually allocate this as a passive bonus, it's going to give you a bonus mitigation for poison depending on the proportional of the task force that you found. So for example, if I have found like 61, that's 61% poison mitigation that I get by equipping this item as a side object. Many of these guys are actually not that common, and you're not going to find that many of them unless you go to the specific area where there's the status ailments that they are going to inhabit. That is why you can come to Merrick and purchase as many of them as you can, just so that you can unlock all of those status. So when you go to a place that has like a whole bunch of blood curse and things like that, you already are going like somewhat prepared for that fight and exploration. Now while you're exploring, you should keep your eyes peeled for these little kind of black torches that you can find here, because unfortunately it's very easy to miss them if you're not paying attention, if you're running, if you're not exploring properly, and they are not like a shiny object. Unfortunately, these are the items that you use to heal your character. Once you have gathered it, you can come into any beacon and then use the Mether's Pulse. This is going to allow you to improve the capacity by using a Revere clan, or improve the efficiency by using a Synactive Vessel. Now then again, I do have to stress out, it is very easy to miss out all of these items, and these are very important. So I can't stress enough how important it is for you to pick every single thing in this game that it is not nailed to the ground. Now let's briefly talk about Tarstones. We're actually going to have a dedicated video about this because there's many important things that you need to know about this. But suffice to say that here, for example, like the Tarstones are items that you're going to be able to use in your builds to make your characters that much stronger and to break a character real bad. However, like I mentioned, there are some concessions that you're going to need to want to make here, because for you to upgrade your Tarstones to the maximum level, you're going to need Tar Cores. And the Tar Cores, you get them by just simply upgrading your Tarstones. So since that's the case, there's a certain limited amount of Tar Cores that you can get per playthrough for upgrading your Tarstones. Anytime that you upgrade a Tarstone to level 2, that's going to cost you 100 coins, that's it, and it's going to immediately give you. Now by killing the Lady of the Woods, which is a story boss you cannot miss, eventually it's going to give you the option to upgrade to temper the Tarstones. Anytime that you temper a Tarstone from level 1 to level 2, here it's going to give you Tar Cores as a reward, and you need 6 Tar Cores as a reward to upgrade a level 2 to a level 3. So for me to get my Auspicious Stone here from level 2 to level 3, I would have to have had upgraded my Tarstones a whole bunch of them so that I could get the materials to get to improve them. Here you will notice that I have almost managed to get this little bad boy to level 2, and even that this is not part of my build, I'm still leveling each and every single one of my Tarstones because I need to get the tar cores and the materials to upgrade the actual Tarstones that I do need to use on my build. Granted, I don't think that this is efficient, and as a matter of fact, this is more annoying than being able to just regularly upgrade your like stuff for your build. I do think that this is way too cumbersome because at the end of the day I'm just upgrading Tarstones that I'm not going to be using on my build, but I need the materials, the upgrade materials, to actually upgrade the ones that I'm going to be using with my builds. But yeah, just all you need to know is that you need to upgrade each and every single one of them at least to level 2. And then finally, the final advice that comes tied to this one as well is that do not upgrade a Tarstone to level 3 unless you know that you're absolutely certain that you are going to be using that Tarstone on your build, because you're not going to be able to upgrade each and every single one of the Tarstones in the game to the maximum level to level 3, just a certain specific amount of them. Anyways, if you like the content, like on the video, super appreciated. Nostalgia today, you're a gorgeous and beautiful person. You're indeed a gorgeous and beautiful person. Subscribe to the channel, join Discord, have a beautiful day, goodbye.